Eleanor had always considered herself punctual, organized, and, above all, practical. But that night, practicality gave way to exhaustion. She'd worked late again, finalizing a report that nobody would read with the attention it deserved. By the time she boarded the last train home, her head was heavy, her eyes drooping. The carriage was nearly empty, just a few tired commuters slumped in their seats. Outside, the city blurred past in smudges of orange streetlights and dark silhouettes. She told herself she'd stay awake. It was only a 40-minute ride. But the gentle rocking of the train and the muted hum of the engine had other plans. Her chin dipped, her body slackened, and she slipped into the kind of sleep that feels like falling. When Eleanor awoke, the train was still. The first thing she noticed was the cold. It wasn't just the chill of an unheated carriage, it was the deep, biting kind that seeped into her bones. She rubbed her arms and looked around. The carriage was empty now, the seats eerily clean, almost pristine, as if nobody had ever sat in them. The windows reflected only her pale face, wide-eyed and uncertain. The station outside was unfamiliar. No bright signs, no announcements, no sounds of life. Just a long, desolate platform bathed in weak, flickering light. She reached for her phone, but the screen remained black, refusing to turn on. With a sinking feeling, she realized her battery had died. Gathering her bag, Eleanor stepped off the train. The cold outside was sharper, almost unnatural. The platform stretched endlessly in both directions, flanked by looming shadows of skeletal trees. A single bench sat under a flickering lamp, and beyond it, a darkened ticket booth stood like a sentinel. "Hello?" she called, her voice thin against the heavy silence. No reply. She walked toward the ticket booth, her heels clicking against the concrete. The sound seemed too loud, echoing back at her like an accusation. Inside the booth, a chair sat empty, and a calendar hung crookedly on the wall, the dates faded and smudged. It was marked October 1984. Eleanor's stomach knotted. That couldn't be right. She looked around again, hoping to spot a station map, a timetable, anything. But there was nothing, just the platform, the train, and the silent, oppressive dark. Then, faintly, she heard it. A rhythmic tapping, like footsteps, but uneven, as if someone was limping. Her heart thudded painfully as she turned toward the sound,